The major official and ceremonial part of the visit will start on the 14th, which is with the Prime Minister's participation at the French National Day celebrations, Bastille Day. This is a very, very special gesture extended by France to Prime Minister Modi. As part of our participation in the Bastille Day celebrations, a large tri-services contingent from India will also participate in the Bastille Day parade, along with 3 Indian Air Force aircraft, which would also take part in the flypast after the Bastille Day celebrations. Program on the 14th also includes meeting with the President of the French National Assembly, Mrs. Bon-Pivet, and series of other meetings with the thought leaders and prominent business people. There is going to be another ceremonial reception at the Elysee Palace on the 14th, later in the evening, which will then be followed by delegation level discussions led by Prime Minister Modi and President Macron. The two leaders will also interact with the CEOs from both countries under the rubric of India-France CEO Forum. The program in France would conclude with a state banquet to be hosted in honor of Prime Minister in the evening of 14th of July at the iconic Louvre Museum. As you are all aware, India and France have a long-standing strategic partnership which actually captures a series of strategic convergences that both countries have on a range of issues. And this year marks 25th anniversary of our strategic partnership. There are several pillars of our strategic partnership, and each of these pillars would come up for stock taking and the pathway ahead in terms of future cooperation in these areas: security cooperation, space cooperation, engagement in the civil nuclear domain, technology partnership, partnership in the field of counterterrorism, cyber security, climate change, renewable energy, issues relating to International Solar Alliance, reorientation of our security partnership in line with Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat objectives, supply chain integration between the industry and business segments of the two countries, etc., would all form part of discussions under the bilateral talks that the two leaders would hold. Economic ties, one of the key centerpieces of India-France strategic partnership, has been on robust upswing, spans across not just the conventional areas of trade, industry and investment cooperation, but is also increasingly focused on the new and emerging domains, including the startup industries. India has had a very robust participation, for example, in Viva Tech, which is one of the signature forums of participation by technology, innovation and startup companies in France. Space economy is again a very upcoming area besides the traditional area of cooperation in the space. Besides, of course, the substance of discussions, we all know that both President Macron and Prime Minister Modi share a very warm and personal, strong equation, and their common vision has actually given a very strong guidance to the further deepening and expansion of our partnership. The visit of Prime Minister to France would be both rich in substance and also in form, and we would believe that it would set new benchmarks for our strategic partnership in years ahead. After concluding his visit to France, Prime Minister would depart for UAE and reach there on 15th of July, where he will meet His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE and ruler of Abu Dhabi, to be followed by ceremonial welcome, bilateral talks and other events organized in honor of Prime Minister's visit to UAE. We have all seen in front of our eyes in last few years a significant transformation that has taken place in India-UAE relations over the last few years, and a central driver of this has been the vision of the two leaders, the President of the UAE and the Prime Minister of India. Both of them, of course, also enjoy excellent personal rapport, which is reflected in their very frequent engagements. They last met in June in Abu Dhabi when PM visited UAE while on his return from the G7 summit in Munich. They have since, of course, also met in many virtual platforms, including the last one in July last year during the I2U2 summit. As you would all be aware that in February 22, during the virtual summit, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between India and UAE was signed. A joint vision statement was also issued at that time. We have seen a significant jump, qualitative enhancement in the substance of our engagement across the whole range of areas since the signing of the CEPA, and the partnership has continued to grow from strength to strength. It's particularly reflected in the strong economic trade side, but also on the investment side, and also convergence on a range of issues. Bilateral trade is currently strong $85 billion between India and UAE. UAE, India's third largest trading partner, India's second largest export destination is UAE. Also, very substantial large sums of FDI flows from UAE have taken place to India, making UAE the fourth largest overall investor in India. UAE and India are also very strong partners in the field of energy security, and besides those, several new areas of partnership and engagement have also registered strong progress, including in the field of renewables, health, food security, S&T, education, fintech, and defense and security. As we all know that Indian diaspora is present in very strong and robust numbers in UAE, about 3.5 million, and the historical people-to-people ties between India and UAE remain a key pillar of our strategic partner. UAE is also a special invitee during India's G20 presidency summit to be held in September this year. India and UAE are also cooperating very closely on COP28, which will be held in UAE towards the end of this year. Prime Minister's visit to UAE